During these moments of extended lockdown, with dates stuck in other countries, unable or unwilling to meet, how does one keep the flame burning on text? I feel it after a few days of conversations tend to fizzle out. Not to mention all that first date conversation is lost in the buildup. Yeah, this is probably the biggest challenge I've been talking to a lot of men with is like they meet somebody online or they even meet for a first date. And then the person is apprehensive of meeting up because of all the risks, because of the mental stress. And it's really hard to get people out, even more so than normal. What I would say is my opinion is that the reason why conversation fizzles out on text is that it's generally not a good way to build a connection. Like, it's fine if you've already had a long-standing relationship and the person knows you and you guys are together and you can riff and flirt, and it's kind of a way to like just keep things a little interesting. Like if you have a girlfriend and you're texting her something fun while she's at work or something sexy, that's fine because it kind of pings like, hey, here's the person I'm already connected to and I'm excited to hear from them and see them again. But in terms of bridging new connections, I just don't believe it, man. I just don't think it happens for most people. I think people believe it does, and they text somebody for 2-3 weeks, and they're like, oh, we've been so invested in each other. I can't tell you, especially in the last year, how many people have been like, oh, I've been texting this person for weeks. We're getting so close, and then goes away, right? Because we just don't feel somebody's soul over text. We don't feel their heart. We don't, we miss all that connection, and they become faceless, and I think it's easier to disconnect. So my answer would be, if possible, get them on the phone more, get them on video. Like instantly it makes a huge difference. We hear vocal tonality, we laugh together, we hear intonation, we understand the person's voice and we like connect to it. And I think that makes us feel really, really much closer, much quicker. And so I would try to balance, like, you can't be on the phone every day. And I think it's probably not healthy. But you have a few days of loose texting where it's fun. You shoot a few quips back and forth, and then you use that eventually to build off and say, hey, let's catch up again on a call. That's worked really, really well, both for friends and clients. So overall, I don't think texting for weeks on end ever makes a connection. I think it is inevitably hard, and I think people get stressed out about it, and they don't want to respond all the time. That said, if you were to try, I mean, the only thing I can say is eventually it has to treat it like dates. You have to get way more personal. You have to get more emotional. You have to be sexual. You have to start sexting. It has to escalate in terms of intimacy of connection, not just sexually, but also personally. But still, that can feel pretty heavy if the person hasn't met you a few times or gotten on a voice or video. And it's like, we barely know each other and we're getting so deep. So I think it's a balance of keeping loose text, getting on the phone or voice when you can. And in between then, if you really are texting and you've had at least a few times where you've connected, try to treat those texts like you guys are getting more sexual, more close, more connected.